Welcome to the Cell Soul Source podcast. I'm Jackie, a chiropractor, yogi, and Akashic reader, and I'm here to activate healing in light workers of all kinds so they can serve from an empowered place and fulfill their purpose with ease, awe, and wonder. Welcome back to the podcast, and I want to start by inviting you to picture this. So you've got the client list, you've got the glowing testimonials, you've got the steady income. You have everything that you once dreamed of, and yet you're still collapsing on the sofa every night, wondering if this is it. Is this really what you worked so hard to achieve? And today we're going to be talking about the silent exhaustion and the stress that so many healers experience. And I'm talking about the entire spectrum, from your surgeons, your doctors, your nurses, to your talk therapists, your body workers, your energy healers, your vets. We all struggle with similar things. And this is when our careers and our businesses look good on paper, but they don't feel good for us. So I'll show you why this happens, how it ties back to your subconscious blocks, and what it really takes to feel energized and alive while you're doing the work that you're on the planet right now to do. Now, I know that I certainly dreamed of running a multidisciplinary clinic. I wanted a space where patients could come in and everything was available under one roof. And when I had that, it felt really heavy. Instead of enjoying it, I was always thinking there's got to be an easier way than this. And I was constantly tweaking things. I was tweaking my hours. Maybe if I started an hour later, that'll feel better. I was constantly tweaking my offerings. Well, what are the things that I really enjoy? Can I shoehorn them into my sessions somehow? And I tried all sorts, but it always felt heavy. And in the end, I blamed private practice. I blamed running a business. In the end, I actually blamed being a healer. If this is what it meant to be a healer, who wants it? What other jobs could I go and do? What other jobs, would let me be happy, feel less burden and responsibility? So if this is you right now, I see you and I've got you. I see you putting your game face on and trying to hide the tiredness and the lack of fulfillment. And let me throw you some relief up front. This is not about doing more. It is not about implementing a strict morning regimen, waking up earlier so that you can do all your self-care things. And yes, I tried that too. Pushing through with discipline and willpower. It's not about that. And it's not about, trying to become more organized with more spreadsheets. If I'm just in more control, it'll feel better. It's not about that either. It's about understanding the hidden blocks that are secretly draining your time and energy in the first place. So let's start by busting the myth that busy means you're thriving. Busy just means that every minute of every day is full. It does not mean that every minute of every day is full of things you enjoy, that make you feel good, that give you a buzz, that make you feel alive. But somehow along the way, busy got confused with status. We assume that the busier someone is, the more successful they must be. And I've seen this play out in so many different ways over my career. I have seen people who look successful while their families are falling apart. They think that they're going to work to provide for the family, but what the family sees is you're never here, and when you are, you're just grumpy. So personally, that's not the kind of success that I want. And thriving means that you're growing and you're evolving and you're prosperous and you're happy. So I believe that this is where we get to decide what success looks like. You get to decide what your version of success looks like. And everyone is different. That's why I will never coach you and teach you a specific kind of success. What I am doing is teaching you how to plug into your own communication system so that you can be true to your version of success. And I believe we're actually in a transitional time where we're collectively rewriting what success even is, which for me is exciting. But it used to be that if your list was full and you were helping loads of people and you had a good reputation in your community, then you were successful. But so many healers that I see are quietly dying inside from exhaustion, stress, trying to numb out. And this is where your success starts to look good from the outside, but inside it feels terrible. It's the classic overworking. It looks from the outside like you're a workaholic, but as we're going to get into, it's really you trying to outwork one of the 4 common blocks in healers. So this particular one is the getting in early. It's the staying late. It's the working through lunch because you're too busy. It's the putting off going to the loo. It's that go, go, go mentality. Squeezing in more clients when you're already overbooked into gaps that actually don't exist, putting yourself under more pressure. So you're literally running on fumes and still, like I say, putting your game face on and pretending that you're fine. But this is really exhaustion masked as commitment. So most people think the tiredness comes down to the demand in your diary. But whether you run your own diary, you have a PA, you have a receptionist, you still run your diary. So why do you do this to yourself? I used to do this all the time, and I could recognize that I was doing it to myself, but I couldn't stop it because I didn't know why I was doing it. And really, it's a subconscious block driving these decisions. It's driving your decision to get in early, finish your to-do list, stay late, overbook yourself. And these decisions are rooted in fear. So some of the most common ones that healers come up against are a fear of making a mistake. So this is going to lead to you over prepping. You're trying to be over organized, overthinking. In your sessions, if you do testing, you're going to be over testing, maybe over explaining, certainly over analyzing, because you're scared subconsciously of making a mistake. Another common one is a fear of not being good enough. So this is the one that makes you do more. You end up learning more, taking more courses, doing more in every session to try and make sure your client is happy, because secretly you're scared that you're not good enough. Another one is fear of rejection, massive. This makes you completely dilute your power. It makes you dilute what you're saying, what you're educating about. It makes you dilute your skills. It makes you hold things back. It makes you play small. It makes you afraid of making changes because deep down you're scared that you're going to be rejected. Another one is a fear of ease. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous when we're all going, well, I want this to be easy. I want to relax. I want to have fun, which is certainly me. And I really struggled with this. I just couldn't believe that it was allowed to be easy. I struggled with this one for a long time. I didn't believe that it could be simple. So I used to overcomplicate things. I used to make things harder than they used to be, than they needed to be. And I used to joke, if there's a way to do it, I'll always pick the hard way. This is the subconscious stuff that we're talking about, because I actually didn't believe it could be easy. And this is why you can't just take a day off. This is why your employed colleagues are having way more holidays than you are, because it's your subconscious, it's your default programming, it's your default setting that was installed likely when you were very, very young, and it's still running the show now, and it's saying, not yet. You can only relax when you hit that milestone. So maybe you want to retire early, or you're really conscious that you want to set your family up, make sure that they are provided for. It's saying, it's not safe to slow down because then we won't be successful. It's saying, you can't relax, you can't slow down because then we'll fall behind or it'll all fall apart. Maybe you believe that hard work equals success. So if you're not working hard, you won't be successful. And if you're not struggling, then does it even count? Again, this one was a massive one for me. I believed that relaxing meant I was lazy. I had wired in that relaxation equals laziness. So this is the kind of stuff that we need to get to the root of and rewrite. So I remember standing in my clinic one day, hair falling out, emotionally all over the place and exhausted. When you're so tired, it feels like you've got grit in your eyes. I remember standing there, and I remember drawing a line in the sand going, this is not what I want for myself. Can I do it? Yes. But this is not what I want for myself. And I will no longer live in fear. And that's when my higher self must have heard the message and showed me every single way that I was actually living in fear, and every single block that I had around this, which is why I know it so intimately. So every time you rewrite one of these blocks, your body exhales. It's like putting down heavy armor that you didn't know that you were carrying. So that armor that you've been trying to stretch your way out of just dissolves. And the tension that you felt in your body and your mind, it just fades away. Your jaw relaxes, your stomach relaxes, your shoulders drop away from your ears, and your energy comes back. So instead of being on that roller coaster of adrenaline and coffee and then crashing, you have consistent energy where you show up for work and you're just refreshed, you're on fire. You go home and you're still full of life. Imagine that. So instead of being a zombie at home, you're actually contributing at home. You're laughing again. And your emotions level out. So I got to the point where Jason would make me a pack up in the morning and I would burst out crying from the kindness. And it's not that Jason isn't always kind. He is. He does loads for me all the time. It was that I was so severely emotionally dysregulated that everything triggered me. The smallest things triggered me, whether they were good or bad. And there is actually no such thing as good or bad, but that's a story for a different day. So not only did I get to a place of that emotional steadiness, I got to a place where I could lean into challenges. I could start to use them to grow because I knew that everything was happening for me and there was always a lesson. So instead of recoiling and trying to run away and shrink, I started getting curious. Okay, so this is happening for me. What can I learn from this? And that's how you use challenges to start to grow. So when you rewrite this block, it allows you to stay solid, that kind of immovable strength. It gives you access to a level of power that you didn't know you have. And it's not power over, it's that internal power where you are solid. It allows you, instead of, again, crumbling under challenges, to stand tall and keep moving forward. And then gifts and talents that you don't even know you carry start to come online. You start having fun. You know, your channel starts to become clearer, and things that you didn't know you could do start happening. I had no idea I had clear abilities. Looking back, I can kind of piece it all together, but I had no idea I had any clear abilities because I was far too stressed to notice. When you rewrite this, your entire life calms down. It slows down. It feels like there's extra seconds in every minute. And you're happy again, and you're enjoying your work again, and it's giving you life, it's giving you a buzz. It's that aliveness piece that we're missing. And you start to look radiant, and your family is so happy to have you back. And in that fully present mode instead of like half vacant as you have been before. And you trust yourself to handle whatever comes up, big or small. You start to trust your decisions. So whether they are patient care or business-wise or personal, you can trust your decisions. You can trust yourself to start creating the life that you actually want to live. And you can trust yourself to figure it out and make it happen. So not only do you feel this shift and your family can feel this shift, your clients feel this shift. Whether they're conscious of it or not, they can feel your new power, your new potency, that new internal safety and steadiness. So they start getting better results that feel lighter for you. And your body and your business stop bracing and expecting the worst and start relaxing and just assuming the best, knowing that whatever happens, you can handle it anyway. Being able to back yourself like this is priceless. And it's not because suddenly life got easy or suddenly, you know all the answers. It's because you trust yourself. You trust that you are resourceful and you are fully resourced. You are fully fueled. You are fully rested, fully relaxed, fully supported. So we are not here right now as healers to hustle harder in a broken system. We are here to lead something new. And we do that by becoming it first, by embodying it first. We are no longer here to heal people by teaching them something that we learned in a book, something academic, something intellectual. We are now here to help them by embodying that information, by embodying that truth and that knowledge and sharing it from there. We are about to get a whole lot more powerful. But it means we have to become it first. And it starts by rewriting the blocks that are keeping us stuck in this old way of working. And in the new way of working, we get to have it all. You get to have the fun and the impact. You get to invest in your own well-being and be wealthy. You get to transform people's lives and have the time of your life. We didn't come here to fix people while secretly falling apart ourselves. This is the new paradigm, and you are here to lead it. So if this episode hit home, I want to invite you into embodiment. It's a 6-week group program where we rewrite these subconscious blocks that keep you exhausted and stressed and overfunctioning and stuck in the old way of healing. So if you're interested, the link is in the show notes. Obviously, you can DM me your questions on Instagram. You can also DM me the word embody, EMBODY, and I'll send you the details directly. So you did not sign up to help people and run yourself into the ground. You signed up to lead something better. So let's make that happen. As always, I look forward to connecting with you in the next podcast. I am rooting for you. We rise together. If you feel called, please rate and review. I would really appreciate that.